Today I'm going to show you the simple way that I analyze US30. You've probably seen various analysis on US30 and you've been wondering, in your head you're like, I'm not able to get this chart. What do I need to do? I was having a conversation with someone a couple of days ago, and he mentioned to me that he likes to trade for the long term. He likes to look at his analysis from the daily time frame, and then he goes to the M15 time frame to make his entries. And I gave him my, few suggestions, and I suggested to him that, well, if you're looking to hold your trade long term, M15, in my opinion, is not the entry time frame you need. So personally, I like to look at the market from the daily time frame. Sometimes I go into the weekly, but I'm very often I stay on the daily time frame, get what I need, and then I trade based on that. And my entry time frame most of the time is the H4 time frame. And I'm going to show you a few backtesting. I'll show you a couple of things that have happened in the past, and I'll show you pretty much how I like to look at the markets to give me a very clear view of everything. So let's get right to it. This is US30 on the daily time frame. So you can see here that I have my tabs open on the DXY, which is the dollar index, and the US30. So let me tell you one hack. Well, you probably already know this, but I don't think so. So the hack is, if you're trading US30, it's always very important to look at the dollar index, because if you notice the way the two indices move, you know that the dollar index and the US30 move in opposite directions. They are negatively correlated. So if you have a very perfect analysis on the DXY that tells you that market is going to buy, right, you just automatically know that the US30 is going to drop. But of course, it's very important to look at the charts, see what the charts of the market is saying, and to be sure that you are actually getting that move. All right, I'll show you a couple examples. Some days ago on my Instagram page, I had the analysis of the DXY drawn out, right? And I didn't really give an explanation. I just put out the video, right? But if you're watching this video now, you're going to have the explanation to that analysis. So if you look at this market, you see that I have something very simple drawn out, right? This DXY is just to give us a direction of dollar price, right? To know how the dollar is moving, so we know how to trade pairs that have the USD in it, and also US30, right? I mainly use it for the US30. So you see I have a very nicely drawn downtrend right here, right? And I also have a very interesting supply zone here. Don't worry about this gray area, it's something from the higher time frame, right? So I have a supply zone highlighted right here, and the first time I saw the breakouts, which is here, the first time I saw the breakouts on this trend, I knew that it was good, right? I knew that there was a very high possibility that price was going to buy, like the dollar was going to go up and stuff. But I didn't even make any move, right? Because I needed one extra confirmation. What was the extra confirmation I needed? The extra confirmation I needed was for price to break out of this supply zone here. So price breaking out of that supply zone will confirm to me that yes, nothing is holding it back anymore. It's going to keep going up, right? And as it's going up, of course, in my head, I already know that automatically the US30 is going down. So I'm looking for that move. I'm waiting patiently for that move. So I had this analysis drawn out, and I put it on my Instagram. So for folks who understood, knew what to do, and then some other folks are still trying to understand what's going on here, and that's why I'm making this video, right? So you know that I am a very simple trader. I like to trade with pure price action. I do not use indicators, because I believe that the market in itself, the charts in itself, are very easy to read. You can really understand what the market is saying without having to import some extra indicators to explain the market to you, right? And personally, in my experience, I have noticed that trading with the naked charts, understanding the charts and interpreting the charts just the way you know how, it's an easier way to understand the market, right? I've seen myself in situations where I had to look at charts for folks, and then I had to interpret, these charts and tell them, oh, this is where I feel that market is headed, without having to use indicators. Now, I was in a position where I couldn't introduce any indicator, or I was in positions where I couldn't look out for indicators. I couldn't be like, oh, I need to use this indicator to look for this. I always want to be in situations where I look at the markets in the naked form and I'm able to interpret it. That's the beauty of trading without indicators, right? For me, it's super easy. For me, it just makes it easy for you to understand what's going on in the market generally. And, you're able to interpret the chart anywhere you are without having to rely on indicators. That's the point for me. All right, so let's proceed. Here I know I said I was going to show you the analysis of US30, but like I said before, the dollar index and the US30 are negatively correlated. So sometimes if you get a clear analysis on the dollar index, you're able to know what's going to happen in the US30 or currency pairs that have the USD in it. Great. So, we have our downtrend broken, which is a fresh sign that there's probably going to be a bullish move, which is good, right? Now, apart from our downtrend, so the downtrend got broken, but the supply wasn't broken. It wasn't a move for me. It was just like, okay, downtrend has been broken. Let's see what's going to happen. Will the supply be broken? So price kept moving and dancing around that area, around the supply zone. And eventually, the supply zone got broken with this hanging man right here. Now, we know that the hanging man is a reversal sign for a bearish move, right? But one interesting thing about this hanging man is the fact that it broke the supply already. If this hanging man were to be forming still within the supply zone, maybe I'll feel like, okay, maybe price is probably trying to, retrace and come back bearish, right? But the hanging man formed while breaking the supply zone, which was, okay, a good thing, right? So looking at this, I'm like, okay, I see what you're trying to do here. I see that you are giving me a reversal sign, but you're also breaking out of the supply zone. So it could be that price is just breaking out of the supply zone. I mean, we've seen ourselves in situations where we see reversal candlesticks, but they don't go in the direction that they are supposed to go, right? So looking at this hanging man, I'm not shaken by it because, okay, for me to believe that the hanging man is going to work, maybe I would want to see something bearish. But after the hanging man formed, we had a slightly dodgy candle right here. Yeah, a gravestone dodgy, but it didn't really have any significance in the market because the next candle that formed right after was a solid bullish candle. Now, looking at this solid bullish candle, you'll have more confirmation that, okay, yes, price has broken out of the supply. Price although gave us a reversal candlestick formation, but that was not what happened, right? We had a dodgy candle and then we had a bullish candle continuing in that bullish movement. Already in my head, with this breakout here, I already have a strong feeling the market is going to go up. Now, first time price tried to break out of the supply zone. It did try, but then came back down. So this didn't happen, right? You see the wick here, you see the fake breakout here. But again, price now ultimately broke out with this bullish candle closing outside of the supply zone. So it gives us like strong belief that we should be having some bullish move. Now, if you notice, I have a pattern journal here, and this is the bullish pennant pattern. So this pennant pattern is bullish, right? And it's confirms everything that's been going on here for me because already I see that my downtrend has been broken, right? And with the breakout of a downtrend, it could mean a formation of a new trend, which is an uptrend, right? So we see the bullish pattern right here, and apart from the bullish pennant pattern right here, and apart from the bullish pennant pattern, we also have excuse me, we also have the breakouts of the trend, right? So everything pointing bullish, then ultimately our supply zone broke, right? So you can see the market is going up. Although we have another zone up here that might probably reverse price, but for now we can see that a major downtrend has been broken and market should be going up. I know that when there's been a breakout of a trend, it could mean the formation of a new trend, right? So if I bring my trend line tool, where's my tool? If I bring my trend line tool here and I do this, oh wow, looks good. So you can see here now that with the trend line analysis, you would have our low, our higher low, and then another higher low, right? Giving us an uptrend. So if I were even trading on this market, if I were to be, I laser focused on this market, I would know that right here again is another entry point. So you can see how everything just sinks. Everything just tells you the market is going to buy. And as solid as this market looks for a buy, it just automatically tells us that everything going against the dollar should be selling, right? It automatically tells us, if you look at the US30 chart, you see that it is moving in an opposite direction from where the dollar index is going. So if you were to be trading, if you were to be looking at this market, looking at the US30 alongside, when you see this move, this third touch of the trend line here, right, which is so perfect, it's actually very perfect. So you see this third touch of the trend line here, you could have taken a sell. In fact, let's try something. So let's put a line here. So this is where it broke out from, right? Okay, this is what day was this? 16th of January 2024. Let's see what happened in US30 on the 16th of January 2024. Let's switch to the H4 time frame. Right. So let's look for 16th of January 2024. Can you see it here? This is the candle right here. So I'm just going to put like a line on it. This is the candle right here. This dodgy candle right here. 16th of January 2024. Okay. So you can see that from here, price started selling. It has sold for a little bit, right? Not sure how long price will sell for, right? But you see that from this point on here, price sold for a little bit, right? If you come back to the dollar index, you notice that from this point, price bought, right? Well, that's one way to look at it. Now, the dollar index has given me an idea as to what I should be expecting in the US30 markets. And if I also go and check other pairs that have the US dollar, you'd also notice that the dollar index is moving in the same direction with pairs that have the US dollar as, the base currency, right? So this is a very easy way to look at the markets. I only use the trend line tool and then chart patterns and candlesticks, right? Which are like regular tools for price action traders. So let's go back to the US30 charts. On your own, you might want to do some more research to know more about how these pairs work, how correlations work, and maybe sometime I'll do a video about correlations and show you more about it. But you might want to just do some personal research to be sure. Now, this US30 move from here to here, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal, especially for some brokers that have like very high peak value for US30. This is a very big deal. So imagine moving your market from here to here. In fact, let's put it to like the M15, because there are a lot of folks that trade with M15, M5 time frame using the US30. So imagine making a move from here all the way to here. For some brokers, it's a huge move, right? So they're gonna make like really good money. You can see the way price, danced around for a bit before it's pretty much ultimately came down. In fact, the first time price did that, I think it would have moved all the way from here all the way down first, right, before going up and probably dancing around and everything. So it was a very straight down movement, right? Even some folks that like to trade with the M1 time frame will see this as a very, very big move, right? In my opinion, because of the fact that I am a swing trader, this move is not even big enough. I see I still see very high prospects in this chart, right? And I'm expecting the market should go, all the way. But yeah, from here to here, right, is a large move, right? Folks are going to go crazy over this opportunity because they will make very good money from it, especially scalpers, right? People that know how to scalp, they make, good money from moves like this. Anyways, so let's go back to why we are here. So how I like to personally analyze the US30 charts is with the higher time frame, right? I like to go from the daily time frame all the way to the H4. Sometimes I go to the H4. When I see a move in the H4, I like to go back to the daily to see if the daily is giving me the same kind of move, and then I know what to do. I want to show you some backtesting thing, right? And I want to show you this analysis based on the high time frame on US30. And of course, based on very simple price action methods. So if you look back at this chart now, I've gone, way back. I'm going to just put out my trend line tool. I've put out my trend line tool connecting this high to this lower high right here. Normally, with your trend line, you're expecting either a breakout or a pullback, right? In this situation, when price came to the trend line, it immediately just gave a breakout without even thinking twice. Price gave us a breakout here, and of course, our entry would have been from right here. Let me just put something here to indicate the entry. I'm gonna make this green or blue, right? So this is where our entry would have been from. This is where my entry would have been from if I were to be taking this trade. Now, this is what it looks like on the H4 time frame. So I'm looking at H4 and I see that everything looks so good, and I see that a major trend has been broken. This is US30 on H4. What do? I go back to my daily time frame. Let's look for that point on the daily time frame. Can you see how it looks right here on the daily time frame? It looks so good, right? It looks like a double bottom, right? It looks like an extended W, right? There's a double bottom right here, and you can see that, you know, even with the mini downtrend that we have here, price is still breaking out of it. Let me try something else and bring another trend line. Okay, so we have this, and price is yet to break out. Now the move gets interesting. Taking this area as a trend from this point right to this point, we can successfully see this breakout. But taking this area from this point right to this point all the way down, would see that this move would still be within the downtrend of the daily time frame. So what I'll always advise is, because we're looking at the market long term, right? The daily time frame or the H4 time frame is nothing compared to the daily time frame. So I would want to obey, you know, the daily time frame. Now look at what's going on here. I can already see that it's been, you know, a double bottom. So I'll probably just put out a point here, right here, highlighting my neckline, right? Now this is the neckline, and you can see that the actual breakout, the ultimate breakout from this downtrend here, happened just right here. Let's go back to the H4 and see what's going on in that area. Let me just use this instead. Okay. All right. So if you look at the H4 time frame, you see what we have going on here. You see that our first trend line, which we highlighted on the H4, was already previously broken, right? And then you also notice here that price went up and then came back down to retest this zone that was formed in the H4. To retest this demand zone that was formed in the H4, just right here. So if I had seen this breakout in the H4 time frame, and I know that yes, it's a good move, right? And then I go to my daily time frame, I see that that good move is still more like in a downtrend on my daily time frame. It looks like a very good move from the H4 time frame, but of course, I would want to wait for a bit to see how price reacts to that daily time frame downtrend, right? Which is this. This right here. Ultimately, I'm looking at this. This is valid, right? But I'm ultimately looking at this because this obviously carries more weight than this. It occupies more data. It has more. So I'll just take this off just to, you know, make my chart more clean, right? Now I'm looking at this market here, and I see the breakouts happening at this level here. So back to my H4 time frame, the breakout had already happened before price came back to test that demand zone. Do you remember? So you see price had already broken out, and then it came back down here to test, right? So we can actually make a move from what is going on here. So you see here that in the demand zone, we have a hammer, right? We have another bullish pin bar candlestick here. And then we now have a solid bullish candle, but it's kind of small. We could have taken our entry from this as our confirmation. This candlestick right here would have been our entry point, right? We could have taken our entry from this and then set our stop loss just right below this H4 demand zone. Now, if you see what's going on here, we're risking very little to gain so much because, I mean, see how far market has moved. I mean, some people will not know to hold market this long, right? But if you go back to the daily time frame, you see that we are expecting price to at least come up to a major resistance point here, right? If not that, we're expecting price to at least come up to a major supply right here. So imagine your entry is from here, with your stop loss here, your take profit is here, or right here. It's a very beautiful trade, right? So this is one way to look at it. So you notice that from my previous explanation, yes, it looked good with the first breakout on the H4, but because it did not properly align with what was going on the daily time frame, it would just be great to wait for the trade, right? And then you can see that patience pays, because now price did go break out of the trend even on the daily time frame, and then came back to the daily demand, so the H4 demand for us to make our entry, right? So now it even brings us back to that point where we thought we would have missed. This is what would have probably taken the first entry, right? Am I right? Let me just be sure of that. Yes, around there. So this is what I've probably taken the first entry from this candlestick right here. But you can see that when price went up, it still brought us back to that point again. So what has happened now is that we now have extra confidence, right? We have more confirmation. Everything has been cleared on the H4. Everything has been cleared on the daily time frame. Everything has been cleared. Our movement has been cleared, right? So when you're taking a trade like this, you're just entering the trade and you're just chilling. Right now, because the analysis was done overall on the daily time frame, you know that you're going to just have to wait for a couple of days for you to start seeing like your huge profit, right? And you can see how far market moved. Yes, we probably would have ended or closed our trade right here, but you can see the market even went all the way up to this point, right? So this is one of the very easy ways that I do my analysis on the US30. I like to trade with very high time frames. I know that a lot of folks take advantage of the small moves in the smaller time frame because, of course, US30 is a very volatile indices to trade, and then it brings you huge money, as well as, you know, you can also lose your money if your trades don't go well. But ultimately, US30 is like my favorite thing to trade, and I like to look at it from the higher time frame. So this is one way to check it out. I have a couple other analyses that I want to show you. So if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, do well to subscribe. If you like this video, if you like the explanation that I just gave about the pair, about the indices, drop a comment. If you have any questions, drop a comment. If you would want me to check out any charts, also drop it in my comments so that I could check it out. And if I have the time, I'll check it out. There's a couple other analyses that I would like to show you, so do well to turn on post notification so you don't miss it when I drop it. Let's go.